Hey math friends! We are here talking about a ruler. We're going to start measuring soon, so it's really important that we understand the parts of a ruler. So here's my ruler that I drew on the board. For some reason it goes to 0 to 8 inches. I don't know why. But I'm more worried about being able to read in between each of the numbers, okay? So if we're measuring an object and it falls between 0 and 1, we need to be able to divide up the 0 and the 1 in a way that helps us measure more accurately. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually divide it into fourths because that's what we'll be working with this year. So 1, 2, 3 lines, but it's actually fourths because I have 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. Okay, so since I have 4 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, I can call this 0 fourths. I can call this 1 fourth. I can call this 2 fourths. I can call this 3 fourths. And this is my 4 fourths, which is 1 whole. So I know that 2 fourths is the same as 1/2, so I could actually put 1/2 here too. Okay, so I have 0, 1 fourth, 2 fourths, which is the same as a half, or 3 fourths. So if I measure an object and it comes to here, I know that object is 2 fourths or 1/2 an inch long. Okay, so let's look between 2 and 3 now. Let's say the object comes all the way out here. I've got to be able to measure between 1 and 2 in case an object is a little bit longer than an inch, but a little bit shorter than 2 inches. So I'm going to divide it into fourths again. Okay, this is 1, so this is 1 and 1 fourth. This is 1 and 2 fourths, or I could say 1/2 instead. And this is 1 and 3 fourths. And this is 2, which is the same thing as 1 and 4 fourths. This is my 2. So if the object came all the way out here, it's very close to 1.5 inches. But let's say the object is even longer. Let's say the object falls between the 2 and the 3. I've got to be able to divide this up. I'm going to divide it into 4 pieces again. This is 2 and 1 fourth, 2 and 1/2, 2 and 3 fourths, and then I've got 3. So this object is 2 and 3 fourths inches long. I don't want to just say this object is 3 fourths inches long, covering up that 2, because 3 fourths inches long is all the way back here, and it's much longer. It's 2 and 3 fourths, which is all the way up here. Let's make the object super long. Let's pull it all the way up here, okay? Let's see how long this object is. If I divide between, I know it's between 5 and 6, so let me divide up my 5 and 6. This is 5, and what's my first one? 1 fourth. This is 5 and 1/2, and this is 5 and 3 fourths. So this object is really close. Gosh, I'm not even going to pull it up here. I'm going to say it's really close to 5.5. I don't want to just say it's a 1/2 inch long, okay? If I said it was a 1/2 inch long, look how long that is. A 1/2 inch is all the way down here at the beginning. So it's not a 1/2 inch long. It's actually 5.5 inches long, okay? So it's super important when we're going to work with our rulers that we're able to divide it into fourths. So that means that each inch is divided, each inch, like between 5 and 6, is divided into 4 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we can label them with fourths. 5 and 1 fourth, 5 and 2 fourths, which is the same as 1/2, and 5 and 3 fourths. Great job, guys.